voice of electricity. $10-million-volt artificial lightning as produced by General Electric in its research laboratory. This is station W2XAF, an international broadcast station owned and operated by the General Electric Company in Schenectady, New York.
Nellie was a city gal, more than 9/10 pure, till a country guy came riding by on a 10-cent trolley tour. His eyes were mean, his heart was black,
and this interurban tramp
beguiled poor Nell and took her back to his nearby nudist camp. His cohorts looked her over in a picturesque ravine,
from orchestra and balcony to second mezzanine,
and then and there elected her to be their nudist queen. Oh, she's so sweet when she appears, the corn's all eyes instead of ears. Taxi drivers strip their gears for Nellie, the nudist queen. Her point of view is rather quaint, she holds her subjects in restraint. Though love is blind, the neighbors ain't, says Nellie, the nudist queen. Among the trees with birds and bees she flutters and she flitters. She rambles and she gambles and she toddles and she titters. When Nell goes by, all nature thrills. Mountaineers desert their stills. There's more than gold in them thar hills. There's Nellie, the nudist queen. Now her overhead expense, to say the least, is very small. She never needs a tailor, there's no laundry bill at all. And her meals are always splendid in her out-of-doors menage. A dinner for $1, and of course no cover charge. When you see a nudist wedding, as we did the other day, you can watch the groom's expression when they give the bride away. You can tell by her knee action if the model's old or new. You can always tell the best man at a nudist wedding too. Now some creditors came calling at her clearing in the hills and asked to see a statement that would justify her bills. When they viewed her liabilities, the atmosphere was tense. But when she showed her assets, boy, her assets were immense. So we're going back to nature to go native minus clothes, with a great big tin of aspirin and menthol for our nose. Though only God can make a tree, as famous poets tell, it seems if he can make a tree, we ought to make our Nell. A blind man came the other day, threw his pencils right away, took off his specs and said, I'll stay to Nellie, the nudist queen. A boy of 5 came out to chat. She gave his cheeks a playful pat. The kid cried, Mama, buy me that. Nellie, the nudist queen. Like ancient Greeks, the human freaks about the fields go naked. There's good, clean fun out in the sun. That is, if you can take it. Oh, she's a woodland nymph at play. Front and rear, she's décolleté. She's got class with a capital K. Nellie, the nudist queen.
Adventures in Time and Space, transcribed in future tense. Can you predict what will come in 100 years? Can you see beyond the known dimensions of time and space into the unknown dimension X? In 1987, Atlantic Spaceport was established on the site of old Fort Devon outside of Boston. And as the ships pushed deeper and deeper into space, the time of voyage increased by geometrical progression. It became more and more difficult to persuade able spacemen to sign on for flights which lasted for years, 10 to 15 monotonous years in the cramped forecastle of a deep spacer. The bar rooms and one-armed joints in Scully Square in Boston were plastered with recruiting posters for the deep space star runs. Flashy four-color signs with a blue-eyed young man gazing into a star-studded sky.
Seek your future in the stars. Jeff, there's your last chance to get out of the wedding.
Sure. Just send Judith a short note. I can't get away to marry you today. I'm 300 million light years away.
Very funny, very funny. Well, think it over, boy. Tomorrow, the shackles of matrimony.
But tonight, the stars.
The mystery of the galaxy.
Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow you commit matrimony.
Oh, come on. We came here to have a little fun. We might as well be at Mother's Music Hall on Commonwealth Avenue.
Please. Ah, the problems of the rich. Hey, Jeff, just where does the coffin fortune come from,
I guess it started in Nantucket. My great something or other used to be a whaler.
A whaler? There she blows!
A dead whale or a stove boat. Watch my trusty harpoon.
Ouch, look out with a fork.
Where's the money now?
Oh, I don't know. We've got a lot of commercial holdings, mills, import, export outfits, rocket lines, you know.
Mere trivia.
Hey, why don't we get out of this dump? We could go up to the Copley Plaza. It may be stuffy, but at least the glasses are clean.
You're the condemned man.
All right, you guys go ahead and get a taxi copter. I'll settle.
Meet you out in front.
Right. Excuse me.
Want something, bud?
The check.
Okay. Hey, Milton, check. He'll be right out.
Right.
Hello, mate.
Huh?
Nice night, eh?
I suppose so.
I've been watching you. Celebrating?
Sort of.
So am I. Just got off a deep space run out to Centaurus.
Centaurus? That's a 15-year run, isn't it?
15 and 3 blooming months. How'd you know? You a spaceman?
No, not exactly. Hey, barkeep, where's that check?
Hang on to your hat, bud. Milton is slow, but he's sure.
Fill it up, Charlie. Say, why don't you join me, mate? Here, Charlie.
No, thank you, no.
Oh, come on, won't take off on Marlowe. Celebrate whatever it is you're celebrating on me. Come on, pour it, Charlie.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I guess I might as well. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Was that varnish?
Charlie's special brand, eh, Charlie?
Yes.
Hey, look, could you get that waiter out here? I've got to meet my friends. They're waiting
what's
outside.
your hurry, mate? You got plenty of time.
Sure. Sit down.
Take it easy. You don't look so good.
I don't feel so good.
Well, here now, you sit right here. You'll feel chipper as a blooming grasshopper in a second.
Gotta get outside. In a hurry. Where's the check? Check! Oh!
All right, come on. Get him out the back before his mates turn up.
Grab his other leg. Let's go.
In a hurry, is he? That's what he thinks. Where he's going, he's got plenty of time. All right, mate. Up on your feet. Wakey.
Let go of me. That's the idea.
Rise and shine and greet the dawn.
Where am I? What's going on here?
Come on now, mate. Up and at him. Wakey. Come on, show a leg.
Wait a minute. Hey. You were at that bar. Scully Square.
Come on now, to the power room or you'll be in trouble.
Power room? What are you talking about? Where am I?
Well, that's hard to say exactly. Offhand, about 8 hours out of Atlantic Spaceport.
Atlantic Spaceport? What kind of a joke is this? If Alan and Peter think this is funny, they... What ship is this?
R.S. Michael M. Rafferty. Coffin line.
Coffin line. Well, that makes it easy. You've got to put back to port.
Forget your toothbrush, mate.
Listen, you runt, take me to the captain and I'll tear you apart.
Here, let go of my lapel.
Get moving.
Sure, mate, I'll take you up to the captain. Captain Lundstrom is just the man you want to see. What the devil are you doing on the bridge? Get below.
Right away, sir, right away. Only this here gentleman asked to see you.
Now, that's right, Captain. There's been a mistake made. I'm afraid it was supposed to be a joke.
Oh?
Yes, you see, I'm going to be married today, and I suppose my friends thought it would be funny to make me miss the ceremony. I'm sure it won't be too much trouble to have you drop me off back at Atlantic.
What? Martin, what is this?
Oh, it's simple, Captain. He wants you to turn the ship around, that's all.
If there's any trouble with your superior, I'm sure I can fix it up. You see, I'm Jeff Coffin.
Yes?
Well, you don't understand. My father is Cyrus Coffin. He owns this ship.
He does, eh? Before
I can understand you're not believing me, Captain, but I can identify my... Hey, where's my wallet?
My.
Look, Captain, all you have to do is radio back and check.
Mr. Black, remove this man from the bridge.
Aye, sir. You heard the captain, Buster.
Wait a minute. Let go of me. This is no way to treat a passenger.
Passenger? Wake up, sonny boy. You're one of the crew.
What? Well, you're crazy. I'm Jeff Coffin.
Maybe, but you're signed on as a crewman. Now stand at attention.
You can't get away with this.
And say, sir.
Why, you cheap hoodlum.
Now listen careful, sonny. You're a spaceman on this ship, and when an officer gives you an order, you're going to jump.
Now, how do you all bust it? Let go of my arms.
I guess you need a little lesson in ship's discipline. And you might as well get it now.
All right, Mr. Black. Now take him below.
All right now, mate. You grab yourself a buffer and you get to work on those deck plates.
I can't get away with this. It's kidnapping.
Maybe yes, maybe no. Now get this here deck nice and shiny. We might even see about some grub. I'll be back in 2 hours. And mind you, I want to be able to see my blooming reflection in it.
Hey, you'd better get started.
I can't get away with this.
The law says once you sign on, you're under absolute orders. I looked it up.
But I didn't sign on. I was kidnapped.
You won't be able to prove it. Come on, mister, please. I didn't get anything to eat today. Give me a break.
All right. You run the buffer over it, is that it?
Yeah, that's right. Like this.
Okay. You sign on?
Yeah. I ran away from home.
What? How old are you?
16. I'll be 30 when we get back.
What do you mean 30? We're headed for Mars, aren't we?
Only to refuel. We're bound out to Centaurus.
But no. We can't, but that's 15 years. Martin! I've got to get back.
No, you.
I'm getting married. You'll think I'm dead. Martin!
Now, what's up? You want me to call Mr. Black again? He'll give you what for.
No, listen. Now, listen, I've got to get back. I can't disappear for 15 years.
How is that a fact?
Look, we stop at Mars, right?
Yes, and you'll be below decks under lock and key.
Listen, I can make it worth your while if you get me off at Marsport.
Jumping ship? Why, that's real naughty, mate.
$1,000.
Why, what would I tell me poor old mother in Battersea?
$2,000?
5. In advance.
What do you mean in advance? I'll bet you're the one that rolled me for my wallet.
There's a way. I don't believe you, young Coffin. Maybe I know better. All right? It's a deal?
All right.
Look, Mr. Coffin, can you take me with you? I didn't realize what it would be like. I'll pay my share. I could work it for you, or maybe borrow money. I couldn't stand 15 years. I'd go crazy.
It'll cost you another 1,000.
You cheap swindler.
Here now, Mr. Coffin. I'm all what stands between you and a lovely pleasure cruise for 15 years. So I'll thank you to treat me with the respect and politeness what a gentleman like myself deserves.
Stand by for landing procedure.
All right now, listen careful. This here's the cable locker for the grappling anchor. When she lands, this hatch will open and the cables go out. Don't get yourself caught in them, you'll be torn apart.
All right, we got that.
Are you sure we can get out?
You just do what I say. When you drop down, run for the blast pit. Nobody's there for a lantern. Lay low until dark. You got that?
All right. Don't worry, I'll tell the patrol you help us get away. That'll help you when they catch up with this gang.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you kindly. I've got to get to my station now. Good luck.
Thanks, Mr. Morton.
There's the landing horn. Yeah, keep clear of that cable, Joey. Here comes the deceleration blast. Okay, Walter, come on. Drop to the hatch. It's about 6 feet. It's clear. Hurry up.
Here I go.
You all right?
Twisted my ankle. It's all right.
There's the blast pit. Come on, get going.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all right so far. The ship houses.
Here's the pit.
Get down so they can't see you.
I don't know how to thank you, Mr. Coffin. I must have been crazy to sign on that ship.
That's all right, Joey. What happened? Ever fight at home?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Huh?
I hear somebody coming.
What?
Keep still.
Maybe we better look.
If we stick our heads over the edge, they'll see us sure. Keep down and keep quiet.
I hear him, too.
Well, well, well. Look what we have here. 2 little babes in the wood. You 2 move and I'll shoot you each once in the belly. Martin, you got good eyes.
I told you I saw him come this way, Mr. Black. Jumping ship. Why, that's a terrible thing to do.
You double-crossing rat. You got paid in advance, didn't you? Then turned us in. I'll see the port police about this.
Yeah? We already turned your papers over to the port police as ship jumpers.
Papers? I didn't sign any papers.
You just don't remember signing them. We got them stamped nice and legal.
It's no use, Mr. Coffin. We haven't got a chance.
My, jumping ship. Well, don't worry, mate. You'll see your girl again in 15 years.
Mr. Black, inform the ship's company that these 2 men have been found guilty of attempted desertion.
Desertion? Well, you kidnapped me, you dirty crook.
Don't you talk to Captain Lunsford that way.
I'm sentencing them to 24 hours hull watch. Take them away.
Martin, take him to the aft lock.
Aye, sir.
Ship jumping. You didn't have that gun, I'd break you in 2. Double-crossing rat.
You calm down after 24 hours hull watch.
What's hull watch?
Very simple. We put you 2 in spacesuits and shove you through the airlock on the end of a line. You sit out there and you watch the hull for 24 hours. You can talk to each other on the wireless intercom, but no food and no water. And the heating units in those suits are just a little bit defective. Makes it interesting long about the 18th hour.
I'll bet.
Well, here we are, gentlemen. The airlock. Now, you get in here. You've got 5 minutes to get into suits and we blow you out of the lock. See you in 24 hours. Maybe.
Joey, can you hear me?
Yeah. It's getting awful cold. How much longer we got?
I don't know. I suppose that's part of the fun. Guessing.
I'm awful thirsty.
It can't be too much more. Hang on, kid.
It's cold.
It'll probably get colder. We better snap the safety hook.
Jeff, what would happen if we drifted away from the ship?
We'd keep going in the same direction till the oxygen gave out.
Yeah. Will it get much colder? I don't know if I can take it.
We haven't got any choice, Joey. Just hang on. It can't last forever.
Welcome back to our little home.
Water.
Thirsty?
Water.
Right here. Here. Slopping like a bloody animal.
Joey, passed out.
You'll be all right.
Help him.
Teach your lesson, both of you. Just take my advice and behave yourselves. Got 15 years to go on this here ship, and you might as well make the best of it.
Hey, Martin, what do you call this mess?
That's your supper, mate. Food concentrate.
What's the idea? Only 2 months out and on concentrates already?
You complaining, Red?
Yeah, I'm complaining. If Captain Lundstrom's chiseling on the manifest, that's his business. But when he tries to take it out of our hide...
You keep quiet or I'll turn you into Mr. Black. Concentrate is what you get to eat from here on out. Now shove it in your face and keep quiet.
I'll shove it in your face and see how you like it.
Look out. What's going on in here? Martin? What happened?
He struck me, that's what.
48 hours hull watch. What are you all looking at? Get back to your places. Martin, bring that man to the aft airlock.
All right, Red. Come on out of there. Your time's up. Come on. You, mate. Go in and get him.
Come on, Joey. Gee, 48 hours out there. Unsnap the helmet. Careful. Get it off.
Come on now, hurry up. Bring him to.
I can't.
What?
He's dead.
Get him undressed. Hang up that spacesuit. He must have had a heart attack.
Heart attack. He's frozen to death.
Mr. Black will be fair heartbroken. Red was a first-class jet man. Hurry up with that suit. It's cold in here.
It's murder, that's what. Just plain murder. Space Code gives a 30-hour limit for punishment.
They didn't even have a burial. Just shoved him out of a lock.
Well, if the owners knew about this, they'd stop it.
Fat load of good that's going to do us for the next 15 years.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. If we could get the ship back tomorrow...
Oh, no, that's no good, son. 2 weeks after we landed, we'd be hung. That's what Space Code says about mutiny. If they catch you in the act, they shoot you down and no question.
Well, I'm willing to take the chance. Are we going to let Black and Lundstrom kick us around for 15 years?
Well, I'm not.
Why don't we take over and head back?
Okay.
Quiet. Did I interrupt something, gentlemen? A discussion? Talking about the captain, maybe? Well, grab him. Let go of me. I'll have you all out in the island shifts. I'll see you in operations. That's what I'll do.
Yeah, chew on my oil right, Morton.
Well, that's done it, Harry. He's an officer.
Who cares?
Look, we've got to move now. Joey, get up to the radio room and smash the set before they can get a message out.
Right.
Pop, you get out. Tell the engine watch.
All right.
The rest of us will go up to the bridge.
How about this, Rat?
Tie him up. Speed counts now. We've got to take over before they know what hit him. Surprise him.
We'll get him cold.
Jack, quiet. Sparks was sending when I got in, but I knocked him out and smashed the set. We're all right.
All right, come on. Let's get up to the bridge. Hey, close the hatch.
We're cut off from the bridge.
We'll never get through, Rat.
He must have found out somehow.
Folks on intercom. Black must have turned it on from the bridge. He must have heard the whole thing.
Yeah. We better get out of here.
Yeah. What'll they do?
I don't know.
They got all the controls up there. We can shut down the drive, but we can't steer.
Dog down the hatch behind us.
Yeah. Well, what next?
All right, men. Captain Lundstrom's giving you 1 minute to get up quiet.
In a pig's eye, Black!
You'll hang for mutiny, every one of you.
What do we do now? Quiet.
They can hear everything on the intercom.
Now, if I cut the switch,
got to get through to the bridge.
Well, it's a Mexican standoff. We can't get at them, they can't get at us.
What's that?
Air leak. The pressure's down.
Hurry! What is that? Lundstrom, he blew the hatch in the mess hall section, just opened it up and let the air out.
Oh, anybody caught?
Al Haynes, he was cooking supper, dead as a doornail. Well, they can kill us all. They'll do it, too. All they've got to do is bleed off the air. They've got the atmosphere controls up there.
I'll see all of you blokes swinging from a landing crane. I'll wear you scum.
Morton, you know what Black's going to do? Bleed off the air down here.
Oh, serve you all right. If I had my way, I'd see you all out in the yard till you froze stiff.
You're forgetting something, Morton. You're back here with us.
What do you mean?
If Black and Lundstrom blow out compartments one by one or bleed the air off, you'll get it, too.
They'll take care of me. Don't you worry about that.
You think so? Joey, plug that intercom back in.
Yeah.
Black!
Hurry up.
We've got Morton back here.
Yeah?
If you try anything on us, he'll get it, too.
What am I supposed to do? Try?
You don't care if he dies?
Well, that's his problem. We're going to drop the oxygen level 5%.
But you can't do that to me. Captain!
It's unfortunate that you were captured, Morton. But the security of my ship comes first.
You mean you don't care? You'd see me dead?
Precisely.
Well, you can't. It's murder, that's what. I'm not one of them. You can't kill me. You can't.
Joey, pull the intercom plug.
You can't do it. I always followed orders. I did the dirty work and
He can't hear you anymore,
Morton.
Morton.
Do this. Shut up.
Morton, they'd kill you as soon as looked at you. Now listen. We've got to get through to the bridge. You know this ship. There must be some way.
We're your only chance, Morton. Get us through that hatch and up to the bridge.
All right. Why shouldn't I? They'd kill me.
And there is a way to get through?
Emergency release. Works by hand. I don't tell crewmen about it to keep them from breaking through in an engine blast and leaking radiation to the bridge.
Let's get going. We've got to get through before Lundstrom cuts the air down and gets us all. Here's the hatch, Morton. Where's the release?
Under the floor panel. You can pry it up.
Hurry.
I got it. She's up.
Works on a key. Ready?
Back against the walls. They've got the guns.
Let them have them. I want to wrap my wrench around Black's neck.
All right, Morton. Open it up.
Here goes.
Look out! They had it fired. Morton! He's dead. Electrocuted. And the hatch is still closed.
He didn't get to turn that key. It killed him instantly. Harry, they got your watch gloves. They're insulated.
Oh, sure. They'll take any current. Let's get Morton out of the way.
Hey, don't touch him, Joey. He's got the current through.
Yeah, I'll pull him away with the glove. All right, now stand by. Here goes the key.
Let's go! Get away! Back there! Like this. Drop the gun. Johnny, look out! Oh, let go of that gun, Lundstrom. Hold them both.
You don't have to worry about Black. I got him square with a wrench.
Anybody else hurt?
I am. In the side. I think it just grazed me.
We'd better tie Lundstrom up.
What do you think you are going to do now?
Turn around and go back home.
I don't think so. I have burned the navigation tapes, and none of you can recalculate.
What?
You'll just wander in space till the fuel gives out. You'll die right here on the ship.
How you coming, Jeff?
It's no use. I've had a little space math, but not enough to compute a flight.
Sooner or later, you're going to beg me to let you surrender.
Jeff, the interceptor screens went on.
Meteor?
No, it's a ship. A patrol ship coming up on us.
Hey, must have gone off an SOS.
No, we don't have to worry. We can just tell them the truth. Sure.
You are not familiar with the space code, young man. Mutiny is punished by immediate execution on the ship itself. In other words, they don't ask questions, they shoot.
He's right, Jeff. We're through.
Can we get away?
Not from a patrol ship. They've already sent us a heave-to flash. If we run, they'll blow us out of space.
I'm afraid your mutiny is over, gentlemen. Soon they'll be alongside with an airlock coupling. And 10 minutes after that, you will all be dead.
Nobody move. Sergeant, take a squad and secure the ship, collect all weapons, and post a guard in the engine room.
Yes, sir. You, Brown, Williams, Kentucky, Kelly.
I'm delighted to see you, Major. I was not sure that an SOS had gotten through.
Oh? You're Captain Lundstrom?
That's right. I can swear out the affidavit of mutiny and...
I don't think a mutiny charge will stand up, Lundstrom. Not with the relief of command warrant out for you. I think we'll just forget about it. You're under arrest, Captain.
Oh, you can't do that. Space code is clear. You recorded my SOS.
SOS?
Of course. How else did you get here?
They sent us after you to get Jeff Coffin. Where is he?
I'm Jeff Coffin.
We had a missing persons alarm for you, and then when a check you signed turned up at Marsport...
Check. That's right. I gave one to Morton to help me get away.
And he sold it to a fence for half face value. We traced it back to this ship. Coffin, I've got orders to escort you personally. We're taking you back to Earth, son.
Major, can I send out a message?
Of course. Oh, that reminds me, I've got one for you. From your fiancée.
Oh?
She said to tell you that she didn't object to a bachelor party in principle, but she did think 6 months was stretching it a bit.
Competition, they say, is the life of trade. And it will be as true 2 centuries from now as it is today. You'll hear about it next week when we present...
Dimension X.
Today, Dimension X has transcribed Shanghaied, an original story by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast were John Sylvester as Jeff and William Griffiths as Morton. Your host was Norman Rose. Music by Bert Berman. Engineer Bill Chambers. Dimension X is produced by William Welch and directed by Edward King.
Three chimes mean good times on NBC. Tonight, it's The Big Show on NBC. Your stars will be Groucho Marx, Ezio Pinza, Jane Powell, Fanny Bryce, Frank Lovejoy, Meredith Wilson, and many, many more. Supervising the hour-and-a-half Big Show will be MC Tallulah Bankhead. Incidentally, when unpredictable Tallulah meets unconventional Groucho, look out. It's The Big Show every Sunday on NBC. Now the Quiz Kids, and later hear Tallulah and The Big Show on NBC.
And now, friends, let me introduce someone who is a real lady. She must be a lady because she wants to reform me. Come in, Mary Bennett.
Hello, folks.
Draw up a coffin and sit down, Mary.
Now, Mr. Raymond, please don't talk that way. It is nice. Why are you always pretending to be so cold-hearted and creepy? Underneath, I'm sure you're a friendly, good-natured sort of man. Yes, you are. Underneath, you're just like everybody else. I'll bet you like to come home in the evening, put on an old jacket and slippers, and then sit down to supper. Yes, sir, and I'll bet I know one of your favorite dishes, too. Noodle soup. Or most all men like noodle soup. That's why Lipton's is so popular. Lipton's noodle soup is real homemade tasting. It's got a grand chickeny flavor, and it's swimming with noodles. Egg noodles, too. You know, Lipton's noodle soup will bring a family swarming to the table quicker than a dinner bell. Mr. Raymond, someday I'm going to take you home with me and feed you a good hot bowl of Lipton's noodle soup.
Oh, well, thanks for the invitation, Mary.
What takes his time, I'll go for any time. I'm a fast-moving gal, I'd like some slow. Got no use for fancy driving, wanna see a guy arriving in low. I'd be satisfied electrifying to know a guy what takes his time. A hurry-up affair, I always give the air. Wouldn't give any Russian gent a smile. I could go for any singer who would condescend to linger a while. But a lullaby would be supplied to have a guy what takes his time. Oh, a guy what takes his time, I'll go for any time. A hasty job really spoils a master's touch. I don't like a big commotion. I'm a demon for slow motion or such. Why should I deny that I would die to know a guy what takes his time? There isn't any fun in getting something done if you're rushed when you have to make the grade. I can spot an amateur, appreciate a connoisseur at his trade. Who would qualify no alibi to be the guy what takes his time? Oh, oh, oh.
Get this and get it straight. Crime is a sucker's road, and those who travel it wind up in the gut of the prison of the grave. This time a bride-to-be, a corpse in a plush bungalow, and a southern drawl behind a gun all had one thing in common. They moved through the same deep shadow. It happened like this.
From the pen of Raymond Chandler, outstanding author of crime fiction, comes his most famous character in The Adventures of Philip Marlowe. Now, with Gerald Moore starred as Philip Marlowe, we bring you tonight's exciting story, The Deep Shadow.
Hello.
Mr. Philip Marlowe, please.
This is Marlowe.
Oh, my name is Harbury Kettering, and I'm to be married in 4 hours at 9 sharp.
Oh, congratulations. I hope you'll be very happy.
But my bride is gone. Disappeared. I need your help.
Now, look, if you've been left waiting at the altar, I can't...
No, it's nothing like that. She's in trouble, Mr. Marlowe, I'm sure.
Oh?
Shirley loves me. Now, I'll pay anything you say, 200, 300, anything. Only get out here fast, please.
Now, wait a minute. Where is here?
3840 Sunswept Drive. It's in Studio City, just across the hills from Hollywood.
3840.
Take Laurel Canyon.
Well, now, look, Mr. Kettering,
Please, Mr. Marlowe, please.
Okay. All right, Mr. Kettering, I'll see you. The address he gave me turned out to be a healthy chunk of old Spain. A whitewashed house that spread out for at least 100 yards under a pink-tiled roof. I was admitted by a butler with owl eyes, no shoulders, and a small bay window, and we played Follow the Leader over cool marble, ankle-deep Persian rug and inlaid Philippine mahogany. Finally, I was ushered into the ballroom, which was big enough for a highlight match. It was decked out for a wedding, from the champagne buckets and dead-over-ice lobsters to a pink rose-covered canopy at the center. And in the middle of it all, chain smoking while he worried, was my new client, Harvey Kettering.
Well, Mr. Marlowe, I'm afraid there isn't a moment to lose, so I'd better tell you what I know quickly. But let's step outside on the patio.
All right, Mr. Kettering.
Mr. Marlowe, last night, Shirley and I
What's
went
her
to
full name, Mr. Kettering?
Doyle, Shirley Doyle. Oh, yes, here. Here's a snapshot of her.
Mm-hmm.
She's 25, blonde, and as you can see, Mr. Marlowe, very attractive.
You're so right. You started to tell me about last night.
Oh, yes. We were out together at a nightclub, the Blue Chip.
On Ventura Boulevard?
Oh, yes. Now, we'd never been there before, yet I think that's where it started.
What do you mean started?
Well, when we were leaving the place about midnight, I called a cab. I was just giving the driver Shirley's home address, the Moore Park Court Apartments, when suddenly she told me to get in and told the driver to start at once.
You know why?
No, I thought perhaps she'd seen somebody coming from the club. But when I asked her about it, she said it was just her nerves, since tomorrow was her wedding day.
I see.
Then today she was supposed to call, but she didn't. At 2, I called her.
Talk to her?
No, she was gone. But I talked to the daymaid. She said when she arrived, she brought in a note that had been left outside Shirley's door. There's one of those leave-a-message pads in a box on her porch rail. She said it seemed to upset Shirley terribly. Mr. Marlowe, what are we going to do?
Now, look, have you been over there to Shirley's place?
No, I haven't.
Got a key?
Yes, I do.
All right, Mr. Kettering, you have the key, so let's go.
But what shall I do about the guests? The
Nothing right now. We may be lucky.
There are only 3 rooms, Mr. Marlowe. What do you suggest we do?
Well, first, let's look for that note. She may have left it here somewhere. Oh, you try the bedroom. I'll start with the wastebasket. Full of papers.
All right. Just as you say, Mr. Marlowe.
Yeah, sure. Endicott Clinic. 321 North Rossmore. Say, Kettering, what does Shirley do for a living?
Oh, she was a receptionist, Mr. Marlowe, at a medical clinic on Rossmore.
Well, that figures.
Mr. Marlowe.
What?
Mr. Marlowe, I found it. The note the maid spoke of, it's the same paper written with a soft pencil like the one attached to that box outside. It was on her dresser.
Now, give it here. Let's see it. Dear Shirley Doyle, guess who I ran into last night? Francis Dragato. Suggest you meet me at the corner of Ventura and Woodsett Boulevard at 10:30. Not signed, huh?
Is Francis spelled with an E?
Yeah, the girl's name.
I've never heard Shirley mention any Francis Dragato. And a public street corner wouldn't be much of a place to check 5 hours after people met, would it, Mr. Marlowe?
No, I suppose not.
Mr. Marlowe, what have you got? What is it?
Oh, a page torn out of the classified directory, a listing of theatrical agencies. Line through by pencil from A down to C.
The last one crossed out is Capital Artist.
Yeah, that makes Drake Talent Agency next.
Well, she never had anything to do with show business, Mr. Marlowe. What do you think it means?
I don't know.
You going to check with the Drake Agency?
No, my first stop's going to be where you were last night, the Blue Chip. I know the owner, Eddie Shaft, and Eddie knows an awful lot, including things that aren't always exactly his business. May be able to help us if he wants to.
Shall I come along, Mr. Marlowe?
No, you go home, Kettering. I'll try to deliver your bride before 9.
All right. Shall I pay you now?
Now, we'll let it go COD. I haven't the slightest idea what I'm going to run into. The snapshot of Shirley Doyle my client had given me reminded me of the kid you went to school with. You know, she had the kind of well-scrubbed look you knew was quick to smile, but I knew that she could be in a lot of trouble if she was tied in at all with the dapper Eddie Shaft. After dark, the Blue Chip was one of those cozy, soft lights melting on thick drapes kind of places. It made you forget all about the stiff prices for limp food. But now, at a little better than 5 in the afternoon, under wide-eyed, unblinking work lights, it had all the cushion come hither of a union hall. In one corner, a skinny musician with a golf ball complexion was working over a clarinet, while in the middle of a dance floor with no more diameter than the hole in a candy lifesaver, a girl was standing on a piano stool. She was smoking and looking straight ahead at nothing. The red shingled hair, promise of a nose, and plunged neckline tagged her as the singer on the posters outside. One Miss Corky, Netherlands.
The place is closed, soldier.
Glad you told me. Never would have known.
Never mind the routine, soldier. Just come to the point. What do you want?
Just a few words with the boss. Eddie around?
No. No, he's not.
Uh-huh. How about his bungalow in Coldwater Canyon?
You mean it hasn't hit the papers yet?
What's the connection between Eddie and the headlines?
Soldier, Eddie was stabbed to death sometime this morning.
You gotta be kidding.
Sometime between 9 and 11, the cops say. Well, so long.
Hey, wait a minute, Corky. You have any idea who did it?
No. Except that maybe it was a dame.
Any description on her?
The law isn't gabby about things, soldier, believe me. If you don't, try Eddie's bungalow yourself and find out.
Hustle up, will you? Oh, yeah, and Mooney, don't forget to have that fingerprint crew go over his other car on that back porch rail.
Okay, Lieutenant. Hey, can they start the party downtown now? Yeah, I guess so. We're not going to get any smarter staring at it.
Hiya, Matthews.
Huh? Oh, hello, Phil. What brings you up here?
Curiosity. I was in the neighborhood. What's the setup? I hear it's supposed to be a woman.
Could be. Where do you hear this?
Singer over at the Blue Chip, Corky, Netherlands.
Oh, her. Yeah, well, she's clear. She
Yeah?
was home right up until noon, and she can prove it. This happened a little before noon, an hour or so. But it was a woman, all right.
What makes you so sure?
Oh, Phil, fresh lipstick on a glass and a cigarette, a kitchen knife for a murder weapon, etc.
No.
Also, some long-nosed neighbor saw a girl. Said she was young, maybe blonde. She wasn't sure. Saw her run out of here a little after 11 this morning.
Mm-hmm. All this adds up to somebody in particular, huh?
Well, it should, Phil. Norma Mayetta.
Who?
She was... Norma Mayetta is her name. She was Eddie's dearest, you see. It should add, but it doesn't. She left town last night for Chicago in the 1 a.m. plane. We checked it. Of course, Eddie Shaft went with a lot of girls.
Excuse me,
That's so
Lieutenant.
right.
We just got hold of that night cashier over at the Blue Chip.
Yeah, what'd he say, Mooney?
Shaft took $50,000 in small bills out of the office safe last night.
Oh, what time?
About 2 a.m. Had it in a large manila envelope.
Yeah. Nothing even close to manila envelopes turned up here, has it?
No, Lieutenant, but that gives us another angle to shoot at.
All right, Mooney, pass the word to the boys.
Okay, Lieutenant.
Look, Marlowe, just a passing thought.
What?
You sure you're just curious? You sure you don't want to play 1 and 1 makes 2 with me?
Yeah, I'm sure, Lieutenant. Well, look, I'll see. I'll give you a call
Marlowe,
if I... Huh?
wait a minute.
Yeah?
Look, I know all about your professional ethics, relations between client and private detective. We
Yeah.
won't go into that. We're going to go into something else very briefly, Phil. The law on many points is quite clear, Marlowe.
Clear like what, Matthews?
Clear like the status of an accessory before or after the fact in a murder case. And like aiding and abetting a criminal. Like a lot of things you know all about, Phil. Keep them in mind, will you?
Okay, Matthews. Yeah, I'll see you. Since the lieutenant hadn't mentioned Francis Dragato, I didn't see why I should. All of which made it a good time for me to cross my fingers and check the name, which had been on deck on the list in Shirley's apartment. The Drake Talent Agency. The place, which was on Sunset Strip, was strictly coy colonial, from a miniature Mount Vernon front to an oversized mirror-polished brass knocker on the front door that said my tie was crooked. And I was sure that the gentleman who answered the door noticed it. It was impeccable. In cocoa brown gabardine, white high-at-the-throat tab shirt, and also cocoa brown silk tie. And at the bottom there were thick-soled cordovans with leather laces. At the top, a crew cut over jet black horn rims. He took the glasses off, and long, soft fingers toyed with one stem while he talked.
Yes, sir?
My name is Philip Marlowe. I'd like to talk to Mr. Drake.
I'm Mr. Drake.
Oh?
What was it you wanted, Mr. Marlowe?
Well, I'm not exactly sure. You see, Hey, Drake, this picture here is Corky Netherlands, right?
The third one over, yes. She's a client of ours. But this picture isn't what you came to talk about, is it, Mr. Marlowe?
What's her home address?
I beg your
Come
pardon.
on, quick. It's important.
And confidential. This isn't a lonely
Skip
hearts
it.
club, Mr. Marlowe.
I was playing a long shot when I knocked on your door, Drake, but now it's paid off, so tell me. Any stranger called for Corky's address today?
I don't know, and the secretary's already left. Look here, Mr. Marlowe, what's this all about?
Murder, Mr. Drake.
Murder?
A messy one. Now, do you give me the address, or do I start after it myself?
Well, I don't know.
Come on, answer up, Drake.
The Towers, an apartment hotel on Ivar.
Now, one last thing. Don't call her after I leave unless you want to whip your hand-stitched lapels and cops.
In just a moment, the second act of Philip Marlowe. But first, you might think that after several years with Gracie Ellen, George Burns had seen everything, done everything, been everything. But this Wednesday night, you'll find George in a brand new role, that of a Florodora girl, with costume and complications by Gracie Ellen. The Burns and Allen Show is heard every Wednesday on most of these same CBS stations, along with the Bing Crosby Show and the Groucho Marx program. Now, with our star, Gerald Moore, we return to the second act of Philip Marlowe and tonight's story, The Deep Shadow.
I left the glossy Mr. Drake and his glossy little agency with his mouth hanging open and drove down to Hollywood Boulevard to Ivar, and from there up the hill to a 5-story air-conditioned monolith with Venetian blinds called the Towers, which offered about as much sanctuary as the Yankee Stadium. I parked heading downhill and walked in across the buzzing green and silver lobby draped with pale pink curtains and blasé women to the elevator and rode up to the 3rd floor. Corky Netherland's apartment was the 4th down the hall to the right. And quiet. But the door was ajar 2 inches. So I rapped hard enough to swing it all the way open. The answer sounded like a cry for help from the bottom of a well. When it came again, I went in, and it took me a few seconds to realize that the noise was coming from a closet. And when I got it open, Corky Netherlands reeled out, looking like she'd been through a threshing machine.
She was here. She was after the money.
Who was after
She
what
beat
money,
me and
Corky?
locked me
Who?
up in there. Some dame. I didn't know her, but she... There she is.
Shirley! Miss Doyle, wait a minute! It was Shirley Doyle. She'd been hiding inside near the door. She grabbed a handy, oversized ashtray and let it fly at us, then beat it. I made it to the hall just as the elevator door closed, so I took the stairs and raced it down to the lobby. I got out on the street in time to see Shirley with a large manila envelope in one hand pile into a sleek new Hudson and take off. I ran to my car to follow her, but that was as far as I got. I was stopped cold by a nasty little gun in the hands of a southern accent behind a pair of strictly Hollywood dark glasses.
Be a good boy, honey, and hold it.
Now, look,
right
sister,
there.
who do you think you are?
Now,
What do you...
I'll ask the questions if you don't mind. Why are you in such a fuss over the girl who just made off there?
I was trying to get her out of a jam, believe it or not.
Well, now, isn't that the darndest coincidence you ever saw? So am I. Only you want to catch her, and I want her to get away. But I guess that's life, isn't it, honey?
Yeah, in the raw.
You said it. We got big business together, her and me. And it sure don't include you.
Just a minute. This ad's like you could be Francis Dragato.
Francis who?
Dragato.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, that name's much too fancy for the likes of me, honey. I reckon we can break it up now. So why don't you just give me the keys there in your hand?
My keys?
Come on, give.
Yeah, well...
That's a good boy. Now, don't try anything silly. And, don't fret, honey. I'll leave your car 2 or 3 blocks down the street here. Look, maybe you ought to go back upstairs and console little sugar child up there. Maybe take her to a movie or something. You know, to cool her off.
Well, that's a nice, fresh thought.
I'm loaded with
Yeah,
them.
you're
Try
loaded.
me again sometime. So long.
Dames. Someday I'm going to get a case where there's no dames connected. Either directly or indirectly. Parking my car 3 blocks away, that's fine. Just fine. Hey, going up.
Flower, please, sir.
3.
Did you catch her, Marlowe? Did you get her?
No, she got away. Which leaves you and me, Corky, to make cozy conversation about that mention of dough you slipped on when I let you out of the closet. Come on back in the room, honey.
What money?
Now, look, you worked for Eddie Shaft as a singer in his club, but what else was Eddie to you beside boss?
Just a minute. I don't see what business that is of yours.
It's easy. He was murdered.
The cops have already talked to me, soldier. I'm clean.
Those negotiations can be reopened at any time. For one thing, you forgot to tell them anything about dough, and yet they're very interested in 50,000 missing bucks. That 50 grand was right here in the apartment, wasn't it?
Well, you can't blame a girl for trying, Marlowe.
No, not unless she tries too hard. Now, what does the name Francis Dragato mean to you?
Francis Dragato?
Okay, skip it. Where'd you get the dough?
Eddie gave it to me to keep for him.
Why you? I thought Norma Maeda had the inside track with Eddie.
Not after he fell in love with me.
Oh, no, that's not good enough, baby. There was a double cross. Where was it? Now, look, Corky, you might as well be smart about it, huh?
All right, I didn't kill him. But if you can get that dough back for me, I'll split it with you. Right down the middle.
I'm listening.
That club of his is dying on its feet. The Blue Chip's going broke. Eddie and Norma Maeda raised $50,000 to keep it going. But Eddie decided to get out from under. He got rid of Norma by sending her to Chicago in a trumped-up deal. And he put all that cash in one lump and gave it to me to hold. We were going to run out together.
Only somebody got to him, nailed him, and that left you holding the bag with 50 grand in it. That's nice. Except then a girl who belongs in this mess like a great-grandmother belongs in a high hurdle race stepped in and took it away from you. With the help of a southern accent and dark glasses.
Who are you calling?
Friend of mine at Homicide.
Why, you...
Sit down and shut up. So far you've been lucky, Corky. Don't push it.
Lieutenant Matthews, Homicide.
Marlowe Matthews, listen, on that Eddie Shaft case.
Yeah, what about
I got a couple of things you might be of help to you. Now, look, item 1. That missing 50 grand is being sought after by a southern accent and dark glasses.
A woman?
Yeah, and she pulled a gun on me. Item 2. The name Francis Dragato, it ties in. Dragotto. Ring any bells?
Dragato.
That's what I said.
Yeah, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, I
What?
remember, yeah. Yeah, but it's nothing, Marlowe. It's ancient history. Dragato I knew was a third-rate burglar, shot and killed resisting arrest down the Sandbar district about 5 years ago, way back when I was a prowl car sergeant. Look, what about this
Tell me,
southern...
Dragato have a wife?
No, I think there was a daughter around.
Named
though.
Francis?
I don't remember that good, Marlowe. Look, what is this Dragato business anyway?
Well, so far it's a hunch.
That's what I thought. Climb off of it and get down to facts, will you? Who's the dame after that Eddie Shaft money? Where did you run into her?
I lost her on Ivar.
That's not what I asked you.
I know that's not what you asked, but anything else would be a breach of my client's confidence.
All right, look, Marlowe, I'm real serious. I'm going to give you just 1 hour to notify your client and get down here and spill. After that, I'm putting out a call to have you picked up for withholding evidence.
Matthews ain't kidding this time.
You didn't say goodbye. That's quite a tightrope you walk, Marlowe.
Yeah, sometimes.
You're good. And I'm a girl of my word. You get that money back for me and it's 50-50. You're my only chance.
Don't kid an old kidder, baby. You're a girl of 2 words, double and cross. Good night, Corky. Well, I found my car all right, a half a block from Sunset Boulevard. It took 20 minutes to get from there to the Sandbar district. And it was downhill all the way. It was a neighborhood squeezed and cramped in by a solid wall of massive factories, and as festered as the bottom of a bent garbage can. At the corner of River Street and 3rd, I found the house. 3 sagging, rotten stories of tenement that squatted in the eternal shadow of a huge gas tank like a sick, dirty old man. The proud, gleaming giant of City Hall was only 7 blocks away. Might just as well have been 70 miles. I went up to the door and knocked, and finally it inched open, just far enough for a face the color of dishwater to peek out. She hissed at me for a minute through the gap where her front teeth should have been, and then told me she was Ma Hargis, the manager, motioned me inside. The living room looked like something swept out the back door of a down-at-the-heel museum.
So, you want to know about the Dragotas, huh?
Yeah, they lived here, didn't they?
Maybe, maybe not.
Cops got the old man about 5 years ago?
It's possible.
What became of his daughter? Where's Francis Dragato?
Why?
What are you being so cagey about, Ma?
Because a bird that asks questions has got an angle, always.
And the one who knows the answer's got a price, huh?
Always.
Okay, how far will a couple of bucks go?
From here to the door. $2 won't even buy a buzz on beer these days.
All right, we'll make it 5. Here.
Oh, that's better. Well, Dirk Dragoto and his kid Francis had the 2nd floor here for 15 years. His wife died of TB first year they was here. Oh, she was a smart one, that Francis. Had a hit on her. She always said she was going to get off the sandbar someday and be somebody. Oh, I told her she'd never make it. It's too far, mister. Kids down here get dirty. And it's the kind of dirt you can't wipe off. It gets inside of mine, no. Yeah.
Tell me, what happened to her?
I don't know. When her old man got it, she left, and I never seen her again, not to this day. Probably left town and wound up working the gin mills in some other place.
Is that the $5 worth?
Huh? Well, you bought sight unseen, Sonny.
Tell me, you got a picture of her?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I have.
Good.
She was 17 at the time. It's kind of fuzzy, but you can see.
Hey, wait a minute, Ma. Are you sure this is Francis Dragato?
Say, she lived in this dump for 15 years. I'm sure, I know.
She looks like somebody else. Girl who was supposed to get married tonight.
I got another picture of Francis here someplace. Wait a minute now, a better one. Let me see now. Yeah, here it is. This was took down on Olivera Street, one of them stands. Oh, that's her best friend there with her, Norma Maeta.
Norma Maeta?
Norma was a tough little egg. Folks drank all the time and let Norma run wild.
Oh, fine. Francis Dragato and Norma Maeta are friends.
Now say, them two was quite a team.
No bed.
I always wanted to do something for them girls, but what can you ever do in a hole like this for anybody?
You've just done it, Ma. Here's 5 more. Buy yourself another light bulb. Throw a party with the change. So long. The eyes of one young woman and the chin and mouth of another, side by side, smiling into a camera, had cleared up a lot of questions. But there was one more that needed an answer fast. I called Matthews from the first phone booth I came to, brought him up to date in a hurry, and then asked him to check Norma Maeda's place, and if that was blank, to meet me at the Moore Park Court Apartments, which was the only other likely place I could think of. I crowded traffic lights all the way out, but he and Sergeant Mooney got there almost as soon as I did. And I led them back to Frances Dragado's well-lit cottage, the one she'd taken in her new name, Shirley Doyle. Mooney went to cover the back while Matthews and I moved in up front.
Your hunches are paying off tonight, Marlowe.
Oh, yeah, they're in here all right.
Yeah, come on over this way. The window's open. We could catch a little conversation first, you know. It might help.
Yeah, if you keep quiet, we can.
I'm due in Chicago. Thanks for your help, Frances, dear.
Yeah.
I had to get this money. Now more than ever.
You've got it, Norma, so goodbye.
Now, that stuffed shirt you're going to marry, you'll never know where you really came from or who you really are.
Did you get that?
Oh, and one more thing, dear, before I go.
Yeah?
I killed Eddie Shaft this morning.
You what?
Heard enough, Matthews?
I killed Eddie
hold a minute.
Shaft. When he put me on the plane for Chicago, I figured something was fishy, so I got off and I came back. And I found out he was selling me short for that little jerk, Corky Netherlands. We had an argument. I killed him.
Of all the
Then I remembered seeing you leave the Blue Chip last night. I needed someone like you to get the money for me, Francis.
Yeah, there's your tie-in.
I couldn't afford to be seen here in L.A. when I was supposed to be in Chicago. Not with a murder on my neck.
But you were seen by that man who chased me at the hotel.
Who, Marlowe? He's still looking for a southern drawl and dark glasses. You're the only one who knows the truth, and
That's
you're
what
in it
she
with me
thinks.
now.
I'm not going to let you involve me in a murder, Norma. Getting that money was one thing, but I'm not going to be mixed up in a killing. I don't care what it costs me. I'm going to tell the whole thing.
You're a fool, Francis. I got a good alibi for one murder. It'll work for two.
Let's go, Matthews.
You're not
fast.
going
Come
to
on.
stop me now, Francis. Nobody is. And who's that?
All right, hold it, girls. We're police.
You're not taking me!
Back, Matthews. Yeah. Mooney, stop her!
Hey, stop! Drop it, lady.
No!
Come on, Marlowe.
I think she's dead, Lieutenant. She wouldn't stop. She was shooting at me, but she's a woman.
All right, Mooney. That gun in her hand, she was a killer and nothing more.
Yeah, I suppose she was. If you asked that kid inside, she could tell you what made her that way. Oh, well, let's get out of here, Matthews.
I can't thank you enough, Mr. Marlowe, for bringing Shirley, that is Francis, back to me safely.
Oh, believe me, Mr. Kettering, it was a real pleasure.
And you, Lieutenant Matthews, for your cooperation on withholding the publicity aspects of this horrible thing.
Oh, no, it's okay, Mr. Kettering. Glad to help out.
We're going to be married, you know, right away. Shirley told me the story and wanted to postpone the wedding, but I wouldn't hear of it.
Good.
After all, I'm not marrying her for the past. I'm marrying her for the future.
Yeah. Best wishes, Mr. Kettering.
Yeah. Maybe tomorrow when Shirley's calmed down. Give her my congratulations, will you? Well, after a long cup of coffee and a lot of conversation about people with Matthews, I finally got in my car and headed home to my apartment on Franklin Avenue, which isn't the best street in town, but it is lined with palm trees instead of garbage cans. And the sun hits it all day long. Yeah, but that reminded me again of River Street, the deep, perpetual shadow that hangs over it. A dirty shadow that Ma Hargis said could never be rubbed off. A shadow that spawns the Norma Maedas of the world. I was still thinking about it while I got ready for bed. I knew Ma wasn't 100% right. I'd seen the exception to the rule. But she was 99% right. Just enough to disturb my sleep. Oh, well. One guy can't change things. Can he?
The Adventures of Philip Marlowe, bringing you Raymond Chandler's most famous character, star Gerald Moore, are produced and directed by Norman MacDonald and are written for radio by Robert Mitchell and Gene Levitt. Gerald Moore may currently be seen starring in Republic's The Blonde Bandit. Featured in tonight's cast were Lillian Baeff, Joan Banks, Verna Felton, Yvonne Patey, Jeff Corey, Jack Crucian, and Tom Holland. Detective Lieutenant Matthews is played by Larry Dobkin. The special music is composed and conducted by Richard Arant. Be sure and be with us again next week when Philip Marlowe says...
This time I started with a Romanian from left field. Got misled in the Philippine jungles, chased an English accent clear to Venice, and wound up at a Shinto shrine with a friend from Siam. All without ever leaving Los Angeles.
Dr. Christian, the kindly physician of River's End, has a most unusual case placed in his hands this Wednesday night on CBS. His patient, a 16-year-old girl who's in love with an older man, and the man, Dr. Christian himself. CBS cordially invites you to hear this Dr. Christian story, The Rainbow Trail, on most of these same CBS stations this Wednesday night. This is Roy Rowan speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Just a bashful boy in love with Mary Green. She is really the sweetest gal that I have ever seen. I've always lacked the courage to even squeeze her tight, but I've resolved to do my stuff when I see her tonight. I'm gonna give it to Mary with love. I've got something that she's fondest of. Now I know that she has had it before, and Mary's a gal that all the fellas adore. I'll let her take it right in her hand, 'cause I know she'll stroke it so grand. Like Jack and Jill, we'll both get a thrill when I give it to Mary with love. My little kitten, I'll give it to Mary with love. I'm gonna give it to Mary with love. She's my sweet, cute turtle dove. About my lovin', she's always been keen. She'll say when I give it, it's the finest she's seen. She'll think of it long after I'm gone. I'm gonna put it right where it belongs. Like Cleo and Mark, we'll spoon in the park when I give it to Mary with love. I mean a necklace, I'll give it to Mary with love. Give it to Mary with love. When I do it, I may need a shove, because you see, I'm so bashful and shy. I'm afraid she'll take it from some other guy. I want to be her number one man and give it the best that I can. I'll be daring and dashing, for she's my passion. When I give it to Mary with love, I mean a diamond. I'll give it to Mary with love.